Hey guys, Kyle Hughes, broker, owner of Hughes Realty. I'm with Chris Tanner with CapFi Lending, and today we're just gonna break down kind of the steps involved. Hey, I'm looking to buy a house. What is the next step?
So the first step is really just going to be have a conversation with the client. I'm going to talk about things like, what are your goals? Like, what is an ideal monthly payment for you? What is an ideal down payment? How long are you going to live in the home? I'm going to ask a lot of different questions. They're going to help me kind of narrow down some of the details because there are a lot of loan options out there. And a lot of lenders will go directly to, what is your income? What's your credit? How much can you afford? This is your maximum amount. Go shop for that. I don't want to be that guy. What I want to do is really find what is the perfect scenario for that individual. So I'd say one of the most important things is asking those questions to find the right price point to make those numbers match up with what their goals are for their individual situation and their family.
Okay, so for the first step seems to, just get on the phone and really dive into the client's actual goals, figure out what they're looking for, and then from there, where do you go?
Well, from there, then it's also important to look at that qualification aspect because maybe someone's goals exceed what their realistic spot is. So I really want to align those two different aspects there. So find out what they do qualify for, what their goals are, and then kind of find that perfect sweet spot to make sure that we put them into a place that they're happy with and that you're able to find a home that's in the correct price range and everything to meet their family's goals.
Okay, perfect. Kind of what's the next step after that? Is it figuring out what loan fits them best, or?
It is. It's me kind of looking at the different options and presenting multiple options and kind of narrowing down, like, this is going to give you the best monthly payment. This gives you the best down payment. Right. These are just some of the different options available to you. And then from that step, it's really looking at the different documents. So initially we're talking about these things like how much money you make and how much money do you want to put down. And then we're actually verifying that information. And with verifying that information, that way we know we don't run into any obstacles down the road. Like, oh, you said that your business made this much money, but looking at the tax returns, it doesn't quite match up. So the way that a lender, or ultimately the way an underwriter, who is the one that really does the final approval for the loan, the underwriter is going to maybe look at things differently than the client might expect. They're very detail oriented. So my job is to kind of be that buffer between the client and the underwriter and make sure we're presenting all the right information and then getting that loan approved smoothly and easily.
Yeah, because something like that too could be, some things I've ran into too is like overtime. Like somebody might say, hey, I make X amount, but they're including their overtime in that pay, which an underwriter can maybe use underwriting, but there's some different guidelines based on that. So you guys really just dive through that and say, hey, what do you make? What's, kind of your situation? And then you verify it to ensure that everything's lined up.
Exactly. For example, maybe someone's looking to buy a home and they've been working 20 hours overtime a week for 6 months. And they say that maybe this is their income because they've been making it for 6 months. But we do have to average that overtime over a 2-year period.
Changes the game
there, and their income might not match up with what they thought that it was from an underwriting perspective. Because, we want to do loans, but we also have these government guidelines and everything that we have to follow. So that's the pre-approval step. Once we're verified documentation, that's a pre-approval. Pre-qualification is really just a verbal conversation and also checking credit, but pre-approval is much more solid because we've looked at those details.
Okay, got it. At that point, I know the client's goals, I know what they're looking for and what they're qualified for, and then we start to talk, hey, what are you looking for in a house, and the specifics, and that's where we take it from there. Well, Chris, thank you so much for chatting on that. That was super informative. If you guys have any questions, feel free to reach out to either myself or Chris. Thank you.
Thank you.